Good evening, Justin here from Brickwright again. Right, this is the van vlog. I haven't done one for a while, so I thought I'd get onto one. And this subject I haven't wanted to do, to be honest with you, and you probably see why. I've been reluctant to do it, so I'm going to do it. Here we go, and it's quite in depth, so I might be here a while. So it's the subject of boss. So I'm sure everybody's got a point about bosses they've worked for or bosses they've worked with, or if you are actually a boss. So again, this is based on somebody maybe starting out on their own building trade, building company rather. So, if you're going to become a boss and you're thinking, right, what's my responsibilities, then hopefully this helps. I mean, I'm going to miss stuff out. I'm going to get maybe stuff wrong to some of you guys, but this is from my own personal experience. So let's get into it. So I've written some notes down, so I'm going to be looking down, so bear with me. So, the boss. Here we go then. So, demanding, not for the faint-hearted. It isn't. I mean, I've done it for a number of years now, running my own business, maybe up to around about, I don't know, 13, 15 years. So, let's just read these things out. So, basically, to qualify to be your own boss, and to be a boss of other people, is really you're going to need a trade qualification or trade experience to be able to understand the day-to-day working of a site. So you need to know the knowledge of a building and construction, really, there, don't you? That's by the by. You got to have drive, enthusiasm, dedication, commitment, willingness to learn, and good communication skills. And then, man, and all these things are really, really important. And I hope I'm not boring people on this, but, I've written all this out and I've been reluctant to do it. But man management skills, leadership skills, who wants to work for a power freak? None of us want to work for a power freak, do we? Someone who doesn't understand the hands-on side of the work, that's always awkward. Give respect to receive respect, be fair. Don't be a pushover. Have a laugh. It's easier to work with people that want to work with you rather than somebody that wants to work against you. And then build all this into a working relationship. And top tip, never tell somebody what to do. Ask them what to do. So when I'm working on site with my lads, you'll always hear me say, Brad, do you mind putting a mix on, please, mate? Or Brad, if you don't mind, can you go and give me a spirit level out the van, please, mate? There's a way to speak to people in there, and quite often you'll work for bosses, and we'll get to some examples from my own experience. And some people are just little Hitlers, isn't they? They're horrible. They're just bloody power freaks, and people get undermined. Some people get bullied by it. And then on the other end of it, there's a lot of good bosses out there, so we won't forget about them. And then, I've said this, communication skills, really important to have good communication skills with your employees, with your clients, and for the neighbours, the general public. We get a lot of questions being asked on site about what you're doing and what's happening and blah, 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 blah. So good communication skills. And then, understand your role in terms of individual trade. So me now, I'm a bricklayer. So say we got floor screeders coming in, I need to have an understanding. I'm not an I don't do floor screeding. So I need to have an understanding of what floor screed is all about. If I haven't got an understanding or a basic understanding about what floor screed's all about, how am I supposed to supervise and instruct and, and aid in the progress of the job if I haven't got an understanding on floor screeders? And that goes on with carpenters, plasterers, plumbers, electricians, you name it, decorators, all of it, bricklayers, all of them. So you've got to have some kind of knowledge of each job that you're asking somebody to complete for you, really, haven't you? Planning, plan your phases. What's first? What's next? What order do you want each trade coming in? Book a timetable for each trade. And if this changes, forward that on to the other trade so everybody knows what's happening. Plans change. Plans always change, don't they? So it always happens. So get it all over to people in your planning. So, for example, you wouldn't want to a heating engineer coming in to do a second fix plumbing to put the radiators on the wall when your decorator haven't been in to paint or wallpaper the wall yet, would you? So you'd have to take the radiators back off and do things backwards. So little example there for you. So planning, really important. Ordering of materials on site. So you might be responsible for ordering your own materials. You might be responsible for ordering the materials for the whole site. So if you're responsible for this, don't mess it up. I mean, it's simple, isn't it? Difference between a well-organised machine and a rusty old cog I've put. That's when boys walk and schedule goes to pot. So if you're organising site and you've got materials there for people, plasterers turning up, carpenter's turning up, another brickie's turning up, you say you want him there on Monday, he turns up, there's no materials there, you've forgotten about it, you haven't got them ordered on time, he's at 8 o'clock in the morning ready to rock and roll, your delivery's not turning up till 1 o'clock, you maybe want to get it there the day before or something. So this is when boys walk, because these jobs and these things are only as good as what you are. So you've got to be organised in that respect as well. Pricing and payments, price correctly or you get bust, or you go bust. Simple. If you don't price correctly, you're either going to be a millionaire out of it, you're either going to be comfortable out of it, or you're going to be uncomfortable out of it, or you're going to go bust. Done. Simple as that. So get your pricing sorted out correctly. Pay subcontractors if you need to on time. I emphasize the word on time. I mean, this oiled cog I keep on going on about, if any of these little bits of the chain that you don't oil, they're going to come off and they're going to go rusty and things are going to go wrong. So you've got to pay people on time. If they're doing jobs for you, give them the respect they deserve and pay the boys on time. I mean, come on. How many times have you heard other tradesmen say, we're waiting for our money? I mean, it's disgusting, isn't it? Pay the people on time. Stop jobs if any of this fails. So if any of this fails, if you don't pay people on time, the job's going to stop, innit? If you don't get paid on time, the job goes on stop, because I've known boys, go bust because they trust people. Oh, I can't pay you today. I heard one occasion, my disabled daughter's in hospital and we got to go and see her. Can you crack on? I owe you £3,000. Can you crack on with the front and we will pay you? Yeah, no problem. We'll crack on with the front. And then this goes on and on and on. All of a sudden, you're owed £25,000, and then they're never going to pay you. And they've played on your heartstrings, pulled on your heartstrings, and you go bust. And that has happened to a friend of mine. So, get paid. Health and safety, self-explanatory, isn't it? You've got to have an understanding of what health and safety is all about on your sites. Maybe it's a bit OTT on the big sites, but on domestic jobs that I work on, you've got to know exactly what's going on. We got safety glasses, gloves I supply to the boys on site. They don't supply their own, because if they did, they just wouldn't bother. They just wouldn't wear them. So I supply my own gloves, safety goggles, all the PP. They've got to wear their own boots, ear defenders for when we're using disc cutters or heavy machinery, all in the back of the van. Even wellies, steel toe cap wellies, wet weather gear, all that kind of stuff. And then understand what the right PPE is and supply it, as I've just said, and understand what other things are expected of you as a boss on site to implement safety, such as scaffolding, people working off at height, people working underneath somebody that's working on height, as if any of that's going on. It's a minefield, isn't it? So use your brain, use your common sense. It's very, very important. Equipment, so tools, diggers, things like that. If a chap turns up, they've got a digger operator turning up there, and you're responsible to order the digger, then you've got to order the digger and certain tools to be able to do the jobs. You might want to hack off some render, send the labourer down it to hack off render. Well, where's the machine to get the render off? Who's supposed to be doing that? You're the boss. You've got to be doing that then, haven't you? Transport, so your van, or the van for the lads, everyday use, and then you've got to insure that van, MOT the van, maintain the van, update your repairs on the van so it's safe for your crew to be able to operate in, work back and forth site, back and forth home, eat their dinner in, all that kind of stuff. Flexibility, be open to be flexible to change, and this is absolutely, they're all important. I could give you loads of examples. One example, building control want to change something, it's not on the plan, they've identified it's not on the plan, they're not happy, they want to change something. So you then have got to be flexible to that change and be able to do it and crack on with it and work everything else out. So So say something like I just said is not on the plan, you've got to be flexible. And then same applies if the client adds on extras. So per example, we did a job, we're doing a job down in Cardiff. You can see the videos, by where there was a certain section of it that wasn't on the plan in terms of the drainage, right? So building control and Welsh Water said, look, you've got to do this drainage. It's not happening. You can't do it the way it's on the plan. You've got to do it. So we did it. Fine, customer got charged extra, which was not our fault, not his fault. Building control wanted it, so we agreed that. And then the complication to that then, and being flexible, was the other trades coming behind us had to be rebooked in, because that took a big chunk of the schedule out of it. So I had to rebook everybody in, and I had to keep doing that because there was things happening all the time on that certain job that we needed to be flexible with. Then on top of that, the client had a mountain of extras on, which wasn't their fault. They don't think of these things, and then you had to add a mountain of extras on, so you had to rebook the lads in again. So flexibility from you and the subcontractors and people that are working with you is absolutely paramount, because you want to do a good job, you want to keep people happy. So you're boss, so you've got to be flexible. Attention to detail. So even though you work in flexibility, you think, we're going to rush this now. No, don't rush. You're the boss. Get your attention to detail, monitor what's going on work from each individual trade. And sometimes that can be hard, because these boys, they can be your mates, or you can have a working relationship with them. And do I want to tell Trevor that I'm not too happy with his painting in the corner? Or do I tell Bob that, his plastering's been good for 15 years, but this job, I don't know what's happened. It's not good. You've got to tell him, haven't you? You've got to tell him in the right way, and give him the opportunity to put that right, so that when the job's finished, your attention to detail gives you a good job. You're boss. That's up to you. Pressure, working under pressure. I gave an example there of the building control situation. Put me under a lot of pressure. Put the guys under a lot of pressure. Client was under a lot of pressure. Things started changing. The client then put a load of extras on. Pressure. Got to get it done. Got to get there for the next client. They're going to let the next client down. So we had to be told. So all of a sudden now it's a pressure cooker, isn't it? You're like, oh, so you've got to work under that. But again, you're the boss. You've got to reschedule everything in and get it sorted. Site meetings. So talk about progress. Talk to people about your new schedule, meet with trades, building control, neighbours, etc. So, yeah, that's another big one. Computing skills. Now, this is where I absolutely fail, because my computing skills are a ZX Spectrum 48K from 1984. So, so computing skills, I struggle with that. Documenting things, I write everything down. I'm old school. I'm an old fart. I write everything down. All my extras, all my receipts, it's all handwritten. All my quotes, all handwritten, all job done like that. Invoices are collected, and that's put through the accountant, and she does my computing skills in that sense. So you've got to have some kind of idea of computing skills, and I fail on that. So bad on me, but yeah, you need it. Team, we've touched on this before. Keep them on board, keep them happy. I do it with laughter. We go there. I don't have to be boss. Say to the boys, I don't have to be boss unless you make me be boss. They call me names. We have a good little laugh and a joke about it. Brad's on board with this. We have a joke about him. He calls me fat. I call him fat. And, we wouldn't want it any other way, because, we have a laugh and a joke about it. And then the job gets done properly. Everybody's got a bit of humour going around. And sometimes that's difficult when the pressure pot's on and those cogs start to fail because they haven't been oiled, or you've left something out. But you've got to be able to have a laugh with people and build up a team bond with people. And to take down a cup of coffee, or turn up with a hot dog, or turn up with a bloody donut and a cup of tea or something for the lads, and just show them that what they're doing is appreciated. And it's all about building this team, isn't it? And then you're going to be responsible for at the end of it, for your certificates. So your fences certificates for your windows, your guarantees and certs from certain relative trades. Say you've got a roofer there, you might put a guarantee in for a 10-year, 15, 20-year, whatever it is, for your roof or your windows, your certs off your electricians and your your plumber, your gas safe registration, and all the rest of it. All those certs got to be approved. Skips, rubbish removal, you got to be, you got to be doing that. Site cleanliness, safe site, happy site, all the rest of that. We've heard all that before. So then, what have I got here? If you can, have fun. There we are, and enjoy the challenges of it all. But it's not easy, and it's not easy, is it? And lastly, if you're like me, I'm actually on the tools every day, as well as, and I've just come back from doing a quote now, as on the tools every day, as well as quoting, and as well as doing being boss and running the jobs. So, take pride in it, and try and enjoy it. I've rattled all that off as quickly as I can. There's a lot to remember, and much more that I probably haven't put on it for other people can probably think loads more. And leave them in the comments below so we can have a little chat on it. And then, I was going to give you some examples. I worked for a chap many years ago in my apprenticeship, dead and gone now, and I got to thank him because he was the one that gave me a start doing bricklaying. But then where I don't thank him is he was horrible. He didn't understand brickwork, didn't understand the job. He was a painter and decorator, and I was bullied. And it was in 1989, and it's a lot different from what it is today. And I was bullied in there by him and some other individuals in my apprenticeship, as a lot of apprentices did in the 80s. It wasn't a very nice time. Things are different now. So that was that. I walked out of there and went building houses in the end and got away from it. The other one I worked for, I won't mention names, but this chap was absolutely horrible. If you wanted to go to the toilet, he wouldn't let you. I had a thing once, can you go to the toilet? Can I go to the toilet, please, do you mind? And he said, no, you went to the toilet yesterday. I mean, there was uproar on the job because he was treating everybody the same. Nobody wanted to work for it. Couldn't keep any members of staff. Everybody was walking away, and it was horrible. And he's a little Hitler. And I could go on and on and on about speaking about people like that. And he's having an hour's break, and he's only wants to give you a half-hour break. I mean, where's the fairness in that? I had supervisors before. I've started on jobs where I've been, equal as a bricklayer, and they've gone through to be supervisor and through to site manager or agent or whatever, and they go from being your mate to walking past you, not even acknowledging you. I mean, what the hell is that all about? So you can't be like that as being the boss. You got to show people the respect and the decency that they deserve, and you've got to be able to have a laugh and a joke with them because they want to work for you then, don't they? If these people want to work for you and you want a prestigious project and you want it done on time and you don't want any corners cut and you want everything singing and dancing, you've got to show the boys a level of decency. It is frustrating. It is a pressure cooker. It is difficult. People do make mistakes, but it's how you deal with it as a boss to be able to pull you and your team through that, to be able to get what you want at the end. And the end job is the best job for your client. And that is the focus. And that is exactly what it's all about. So, you're going to have to, if some people take the mick of your generosity and your niceness and your lack of rules and all the rest of it, then you've got to be boss. Then you've got to take them to one side. And, I've done that and it's difficult, but I'm not afraid to do that. And if you can't be afraid to do that, because people then will walk all over you. This softness, people sometimes take that as a weakness. But it's not. It's just a niceness and a fairness. So if they're prepared to take the mickey out of you being fair and nice and decent to them, well, then they don't deserve to work with you or for you, do they? So you got to be boss in that respect and put your foot down and be willing to do the hard side of it and do it. So I've learned that over the years, and I will do it. And it's not nice, but we got to do it. And I've given warnings out and stuff in the past, and it's not nice, but it's got to be done because you're the boss, ain't you? So anyway, I hope that's giving you an insight. If you're just starting out and you're taking on these bigger projects and you're going to be working with some subcontractors, you've got your own boys there and you've got other jobs on the go, it paints a picture of, the day-to-day running of what I do. And I can only say things from what I do. So I hope it's helped you. If you can help me in any way, and it'd be great. But, if you're going to be boss, just try and enjoy it. Try and enjoy it. Try and enjoy I love the challenges of it. I do. I love the challenge of it. I get home sometimes and I think, oh my God, this has gone wrong. Or, oh my God, he wants us to do this now. or oh my God, the carpenter's got so much work on there now. How am I going to tell him there's more work? How am I going to cancel work? So many different things, so many different problems. But I think unless you like that challenge, and unless you actually like that, although when you're doing it, it seems stressful, you've got to be able to like that. You've got to be that type of person. You've got to be able to, to step up to the mark and be able to do it. So anyway, good luck with it. I mean, honestly, I really do wish, if somebody's thinking about doing this, I really do wish you good luck with it. Hope this has helped. If I can help you in any other way, contact us through the website brickwright.co.uk. All the information's on there, or leave the comments below. And thanks for listening. And I really didn't want to speak about this. It's taken me weeks to do it. So let me know what you think. See you on the next one. Be good. Stay safe. Ta-ra.